Welcome, I'm Debbie Gilbert from the Best Business Women Awards, and today I'm joined by Justine Perry from Cariad Marketing. Oh my goodness, multi award winner, 35 business awards in the last 11 years that she's had her business, Cariad Marketing. And she is not only a sponsor of the awards for the past 4 years, but she's also on our judging panel. Who better place to judge awards but someone who's won 35 of them. So welcome, Justine.
Hello, Debbie. How are you?
I'm good. So tell everyone, Justine, what your business is all about, when you started it and what you do, because I think people would really love to know.
Oh, so many questions. Well, I started the business back in 2009. So we're 11 years old now and going from strength to strength. We're a digital marketing agency, which means that we're involved in all kinds of online promotion, from SEO to PPC, content marketing, social media, and building fantabulous websites as well. Yeah, so it's been an exciting journey so far. Like everybody, it's been a roller coaster, highs and lows. Currently, obviously, we're in lockdown. Well, been just in lockdown, so it's been a bit of a low. But it's been very interesting to see what kind of strength of brand emerges, and the resilience in the business community is incredible. Which actually, it's a joy to work with so many great clients.
Oh, brilliant! And I know you literally started your business on the kitchen table, didn't you?
Oh yes, yes, it's one of those stories that yes, my business started at my kitchen table, but we did rapidly proceed to offices once we had staff, which was good, because actually one thing you've learned during lockdown is that the kitchen table is very robust, but computers take up a lot of space.
So you're back there at the moment on the kitchen table, but
oh yeah,
how many staff have you got now? Just to give people
16.
So what an achievement. Amazing.
Yeah, I kind of had to remodel the business halfway through our cycle, and that actually was I learned so much from it. And what I learned was that you have to build a business, you have to have a business that can operate without you, as well as when you're there. I learned that you have to get the very best staff you can afford in order to scale up your business. And I can genuinely say that I've got the very best staff I can afford. They are all superstars. They have a real always-on commitment to learning. In digital marketing, you have to keep learning, otherwise you just won't get anywhere. And for us, it's all about the success of our clients and their campaigns. So it's absolutely vital that we're learning, we're growing, and I'm thrilled with, even during these difficult weeks that we've just passed, you know, my team have been passing different certifications left, right and centre, which is awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. So very, very early on, I mean, we actually met before, literally when you were starting your business on the kitchen table at a business exhibition. And then I remember the very first awards that I saw you at, that you'd entered. So you obviously made awards part of your strategy very early on in your business. So talk me through why was awards so important to you?
And I think awards are a really good recognition of a business as achievements. And for me, it was a great PR opportunity to get our brand name out there. And I think it's really, really helped. Everybody that I speak to has heard of Cariad. And, you know, particularly when you're talking in the context of awards, they're always joking, well, have you not won this one 10 times over and all that kind of thing, which is really, really flattering. One of the things I love about the awards cycle is that you actually sit down and you reevaluate your business and take it all apart and think about it from a third party. And it actually, for me, it's a brilliant process because it gives me the inspiration to do new things in my business as well. So I really love it as a process. It takes time, you're going to do it well. And a lot of thought, but you know what, it's worth taking the time to put in a really good entry, because, you know, having been a judge as well, I know that lots of people, you know, put their heart and soul into it, but there is always a minority that will not take any time over it. And, you know, when you're up against people who have put in that effort, it really makes a difference.
And you literally enter different awards each year, don't you? So you're very strong on it being part of your marketing strategy and part of the marketing strategy for your clients that you work with.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of make sure that with Cariad as a brand, we practice what we preach. So all the things that we recommend to our clients, our business is doing itself and thriving on it. So our award strategy, we enter different ones each year, and sometimes we've even been known to have a year off, usually when we're judging or something like that. But it's very important to have a strategy behind it. And right at the beginning of our marketing year, when we've done the strategy and the comms plan and set the KPIs, what we're actually thinking about is which ones are we going to enter this year and why, and what do we expect as the outcome, because there's so many, you know, it's not just about the PR or indeed the great awards events, which are always fabulous to go to. Not just about that. I mean, there's so many benefits to the business, and you know, the PR side actually links into, for example, our SEO strategy. So where third parties are writing about our award successes, we're getting significant backlinks from third parties, so that sits in the SEO. From a content marketing, it helps us with our blogging, and it helps us with our social media strategy. So all of the things, we're great advocates at Cariad of what I tend to term joined up thinking. I know it's a bit of a strange one, but basically when you do something in marketing, I think you want to eke the most value out of it. So we don't see awards as being just something you may or may not do, and it's planned in and it has a purpose. And it's not just about how it helps me as the business owner, but also the marketing and the perception of our business, the competitive advantage it gives us, the fact that it helps our other marketing activities and feeds into. And it also widens our communities, because, you know, when you're in the awards process, there's lots of other people that are entering that are quite keen to talk and share, and you can build relationships with other business owners. You can find new suppliers. I mean, there's a whole raft of benefits in there.
You're quite strategic, aren't you, about the awards that you enter?
Yes.
So you do your research each year, and then you decide, you know, and I think this is really important for people to understand. It's about deciding what awards do you want to be known for, you know, rather than blanketly entering everything. So out of these 35 awards, going to put you on the spot here a little bit. Anyone in particular that you're particularly proud that you have on your shelf?
I wouldn't say any individual one. I mean, the ones that we've won for digital marketing are awesome, because that's, you know, about our team's work. But then actually all of the awards are about an accolade to my brilliant team. And anyone who knows me will hear me bang on about my brilliant team all the time. They are amazing, and I think it gives them a real sense of recognition. I can't say that I particularly have a preference on any of them, but you know, they're all good. They're all very different, and one of the things I find interesting is that you have to be aware of the submission process, because, you know, with some awards you have to write an entry, and with other awards you have to it's a voting criteria plus a presentation plus something else. You know, they're all very different, and it's worth knowing that in advance, because it depends on what you're up for as to whether you'd want to actually get involved with that kind of thing. And the other thing is actually checking out the awards to see their credibility. Will it actually mean anything to have won that award? And for me, that is important, because actually, you know, you want it to resonate with certainly your own target market. When they see that you've won this award, you don't want them to think, well, you know, I don't even know what that is. You want them to be thinking, wow, that's really great recognition.
So then, to cross over into sponsorship, what made you make that decision a few years ago to become an award sponsor as well, and a judge?
I love the judging process, because I find that I get inspired by different people, and the submissions are, some of them were just awesome. Some are overcoming adversity, some that are just innovating, some that are just revenue burners, and they're just brilliant, you know, just so impressive. So I wanted to be part of that, because I found it interesting, and also because I learned so much from it. But not just that, it's about that giving back, because, you know, Cariad can only win so many awards, and it needs to do different things, and it needs to different awards. And so it's really the ones that we're really connected with and the ones that we believe in. Yeah, for sure. It's a great thing to be involved in sponsoring. And the thing I love about the Best Businesswomen is that as a businesswoman, on my, you know, as sole director running my own business for the best part of 11 years, it's tough. And I think that the Best Businesswomen Awards really just, you know, it celebrates all that is good about being a woman in business. And for sure, I'm all for equality, and I, you know, sometimes it is that bit sweeter if you're winning an award and it's, you know, the field is so very large. But I think in this particular case, the sense of community and support that the businesswomen have for each other is amazing, and I guess that's down to you, Debbie.
Oh, that's very sweet of you today. Thank you. Those entries, when they, you know, as a judge, you get to read the entries. What sort of things are you looking for? I mean, what really kind of, you know, wows you when you're judging entries?
Personally, I like to see a clear story. I like it to have a beginning, a middle and an end. Call me traditional on that respect. I want to see a thought process behind it rather than a jumble of figures. And if somebody wishes to, you know, is saying their revenue or their turnover or their profit, you know, actually giving some substance behind those numbers. And I think certainly from previous years judging, you know, one thing that does let people down, and maybe they don't even realise, is that there are scores that as judges you are allocated, and you have to score someone out of, say, 10 as an example, for providing a certain set of data. And if the person hasn't done it, they might have had an immensely brilliant entry and they could wipe out on that one round. And it usually tends to be around reporting their financials. And you shouldn't be afraid to, because actually it's business. It's not personal, it's business. And it's demonstrating that the greatness that you're saying you've got is there. I do look for consistency as well. There's no point in telling a judge in one paragraph one thing and then contradicting it in the next, and then again in the next. And that can sometimes happen.
Yeah, and lack of evidence is one of the big things that we what was that? We get a lot of issues with lack of evidence, and it is a bugbear for a lot of our judges, because you can't just make a statement, you have to back it up. I mean, obviously with the whole situation with the pandemic, we're not really interested in the last couple of months. What we're interested in learning about is the last 2 or 3 years of your business, or 5 years if you're going for best business. So people don't need to worry about what's gone on over the last couple of months. But obviously if you have been doing something particularly amazing, then make sure you include it, because that might...
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what, there are some businesses that took that adversity and thought, well, what can I do? Whether they've done it in a giving nature, whether it's a non-profit making thing, or whether it's actually a straightforward business proposition that's making them a brilliant profit because they spotted a gap in the market and they got out there quickly, they were nimble, and they're pushing it out there, then good on them. So but many different industries are obviously really hit. There's no two ways about it. Every industry is, our business is hit, everybody's business is hit. But it's not about the hit, because we're all going to have that as a pandemic. It's about how you deal with it, how you look after your customers throughout that process. Keeping in communication, making sure you're still talking. You can still be active on social media even if your doors are closed. You can still be. I mean, one of the things we've found is that the clients that we have that have really stuck to their SEO strategy, the inroads that have been made whilst the pandemic has been worldwide is amazing. And that's because they've got the confidence in their business and they know they're coming out the other side. But I think that you're right. You know, as a judge looking at the last year, you've obviously got to take into consideration that different industries are going to have been hit in different ways. It depends who you are and what you do.
And exactly that. And it shouldn't be, if you're not trading at the moment because you can't, then it shouldn't put you off. I know
it shouldn't put you off.
to a lot of beauty salons in the last week or so who want to enter and are like, well, I'm closed. And I said, the judges are going to completely understand that you are not allowed to open. And there isn't much else you can do apart from clean your salon, decorate your salon, or whatever. So that's perfectly fine. What I really wanted to ask you, just to close off really, was if someone's watching this video and they've maybe seen the website and they're thinking of entering, not just our awards, but maybe any awards, what advice would you give them? How would you structure their approach to it? What do you have, like a formula of what you do, of how you look at an awards, and then what's your process to get your entry stuff together, and what would you advise them to do?
Gosh, that's a big question. Okay, well, I would say plan. Plan at the beginning of your marketing year, whenever that may be. It might be January, it might be mid-year, well, it might run in line with your financials. But when you plan, really do take the time to think about which ones you want to enter, which actually imagine yourself as the winner. Which one do you want to be crowned for? Because I think you've got to have that positive vibe going on. And once you've done that, know the deadlines and set yourself up alerts to check it, and check it even if you just check a spreadsheet once a month so you know what that deadline is. But my biggest piece of advice is don't leave it to the last minute. You can tell a rush job. You can, as a judge, you can tell a rush job. You can tell the ones that have been carefully crafted, and people do their best work when it's carefully crafted. Yeah. So I would say take the time to put your very best foot forward, in the knowledge that actually once you've done one or two entries, you're going to have chunks of text that you can actually use in different ones and adapt to different questions in different award entries. So you're not just, again, we're back to joined up thinking, you're not just doing it for one, you can use it for more than one. But try and portray it in a different way, because actually you don't know who the judge is when you're submitting, and actually you don't want them to, if they're judging on 3 or 4 awards, you wouldn't want them to see exactly the same story every time. That's not really great either. So adapt them to the awards, because if it's best businesswoman, show them why you're the best businesswoman in particular, and demonstrate your credentials. But I think that would be the whole planning side would be my best piece of advice. And get somebody to sanity check it for you. You might not have anybody, if you're a sole trader, you might not have anyone who understands your business quite as you do, but you'll have someone who cares about you and that would go through and just do a sanity check and make sure that it's a cohesive story, that basically it answers the questions. Read and reread those questions before you answer them. Stick to the word counts. People are given word counts for a reason. The judges do have to read a lot of entries, and people who think it's okay to just stick in an extra couple of pages of information, it's not okay, and it won't get read. Right. So you might as well put all the juicy stuff up front, which means it'll be a very short paragraph, which is great.
Yeah, I get that within scenes. That's great. So anything else you want to add before we scoot off for today? It's been great talking to you.
I would encourage anyone to consider entering the awards. Definitely the Best Businesswoman Awards, because it's the awards event itself is great. There are other events, there are networking opportunities to build relationships with great people. So I do thoroughly recommend that. And actually, we're a small team, there's 16 of us, but you know what, I've met some really great sole traders, I've met some much bigger companies than us to do business with, and forged great relationships with them. So I would really encourage people to go for it. And you know what, if your business is closed at the moment, now is the great time to write an award entry, because you're going to reassess your business and think about what can you do in the future. That you can't future-proof everything, nobody can, but you can do things differently. It's your chance to reimagine and remodel your business, and you can do that whilst writing your award entry on all the achievements and all the great stuff that you've done today. So I'd say have a go and take some time over it if you've got the time to spend on it. If not, don't be afraid to outsource that task. If you're not all about the writing of the award entries, there are PR people out there and marketing agencies alike who are professionals at doing this. And you share your brand story and brand journey with them, and they interpret that and they make sure that your answers, you're answering the questions correctly. And that's a really great thing. So I thoroughly recommend, doing that. if you are able to do so and budget allowing. But any business owner should be able to answer the questions.
Yeah, definitely. And like you've just said, really, I think that's a really valid point that you touched on, that if writing isn't your skill, or you don't have the time to do it and give it the justice that it needs, then yeah, certainly you can outsource it to somebody else. So I think that's really good advice, actually. So I will crown you the Queen of Awards, because out of everybody I've interviewed on these interviews for the awards, I think you have won the most.
Oh, wow.
Got Denise O'Leary
Happy
stepping
days.
on your heels, because she won the Stevie Award out in America. So you need to go for
fantastic news. Fantastic news.
So and it's great, because our judging panel are literally loaded with people who've won awards, been finalists in awards themselves, and I think that shows the strength of the experience and the knowledge we've got on our judging panel, that you're all people that get it, that understand business and understand about what needs to be demonstrated in an entry as well. So I'm really pleased to have you on our judging panel, even though it's a lot of blood, sweat and tears. You know,
no, it's great.
Really,
and actually, as a marketer, that's what you do. It's almost what you do in your day job, because a marketer, or certainly a senior marketer, you're working with business owners all the time, evaluating their business. You're looking at their strengths and weaknesses. You're looking at opportunities and threats. You're doing campaigns. You're understanding all aspects of their business. You're in that unique position. So that's why I really love doing it. So keep doing what you're doing, Debbie. It's fabulous.
And also, Justine loves a party, so you will
of course.
At the final. Fingers crossed we get our final this year. If whatever reason we can't do our final, then we are currently looking at 2 finals for next year. So the 2020 final will be early 2021. And if we don't get enough entries, because obviously that's another possibility, then we'll pull all the people that do enter into 2021. So that makes it really simple. So nobody loses out. So this is a great time to sit and work on your award entry. Go and sit in the garden. Karishma actually came up with a really good tip yesterday, one of our other judges, and she said, have an achievement folder and constantly pop those little achievements of things that you kind of work on throughout the year, testimonials that come in, all sorts of things, and stuff you do for charity, all sorts of stuff, and just pop it into an achievement folder. So I thought that was a good little tip.
And it's great, because if you're having a down day, because
you go and
look in your achievement folder, and it can perk you right up. Actually, we display at Cariad Towers. We do have all of our awards on display on the walls there.
Well, that's lovely, because I think
it means you see them. Makes the staff feel great. They're working for a multi-award winning agency after all.
And you've also got them all on your website, which is also great. When clients visit your homepage, they can see all the awards that you've won, and you've got them all over your social media and things like that. So, it really does add a lot of value to your business. So, oh my goodness, 35 awards. That's incredible. Right, I'm going to go. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Very welcome, Debbie.
Really lovely to chat to you. And
visit
the website if you want more details, bestbusinesswomenawards.com. Thank you.
Thank you.